Welcome to ADHD Whiskey. If you're new here, my name is Matt. Today, we're going old school. Today, we have a good old-fashioned bourbon skirmish. America. In glass A, we have Barrel Foundation, aged 5 years, 95 proof. America. In glass B, we have 95 proof Old Forester Statesman. Bust out the Julie-like wheel of confusion. Give these two whiskeys a spin so that we don't know which one is which ever again. Until we do later, when we reveal it. Done. Got him. Glass number 1, glass number 2. Before we get into this one-on-one, mono-y-mono bourbon skirmish showdown, let's first talk about today's video sponsor. Today's video is brought to us once again by the world's very first pre-alcohol probiotic drink, Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics was invented by PhD scientists to help you tackle rough mornings after drinking. A toxic byproduct of alcohol builds up in the gut when you start drinking. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that causes you to feel icky the day after drinking. A toxic byproduct, you say? Oh, not another toxic byproduct that the world has no idea what to do with, right? Wrong. Z-Biotics coming in strong. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme in the gut that breaks that byproduct of alcohol down. So if you want to feel extra good the day after drinking alcohol, grab a Z-Biotics, give it a good shake, put it down the hatch before you start drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly, stay hydrated, get a good night's sleep, and the next morning you're gonna feel like $1,000,000, bro. Or sis. I always bring Z-Biotics with me when I'm doing barrel picks, or if I know I'm gonna be drinking a little bit extra on Friday night live stream. Z-Biotics is so sure that it will work for you that they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Click on the first link in the description below, or scan this QR code on the screen. Go to zbiotics.com/ADHD. When you use code ADHD at checkout, you'll save 15% off your first box. And you'll be so happy that you did, because Z-Biotics friggin' rocks. Giving glass 1 the old SJ, the old swirl job. Giving glass 1 a ride on the old bourbon tilt-a-swirl. Going in for a nose of glass 1. Ooh, baked oatmeal cookie. Like a homemade oatmeal cookie that your mama used to make before she fell out of love with you and only bought you oatmeal cream pies from Little Debbie. A nice fresh baked oatmeal cookie right in your nose, right in your face. A little bit of bright fruit, almost like a pear. Or like one of those cups of pears that you peel the top off of, and then you smell it and you're like, what is that pear is in? What type of juice is that? It says that it's only water, but smells like absorbic acid to me, you son of a bee. Oatmeal cookies and pears? A bag of tart cherries. Not like the sweet maraschino cherries, but if you traveled up to Traverse City region of Michigan, the Suttons Bay region, the cherry capital of the world, and you snuck into a cherry farm when the farmers were sleeping, and you took one of those cherries off the tree and popped it in the mouth, except for you smelled it. A little bit of that, and a mouthwash. It's like a Traverse City cherry mouthwash, oatmeal cookie, and pear and absorbic acid. Switching glasses, let's smell number 2. Giving glass 2 the old porcelain throne, if you know what I mean. 1 ounce per flush. Oh, glass 2 is a lot more butterscotch, a bit funkier. Who's got the funk? Can't stop the funk. A little bit of a rotten apple, like an apple that fell off a tree and landed in the grass, and then whatever happened to it from there happened to it. Then you stumbled upon it and smelled it. Half trampled apple. smelling them side by side now. Glass 1, glass 2. If I had to choose one of these bourbons based on the nose alone, this might surprise you, but I think glass 2 seems to be a little bit more complex and interesting. A little bit more of a puzzle you need to put together with your taste buds and nose buds. Like an older woman wise beyond her years, willing to please you but with every drop of complexity comes 3 gallons of crazy. And I kinda dig crazy. So the nose battle goes to glass number 2. Let's put these two bourbons face to face and find out which one has the better taste. Glass number 1, down the hatch. Pickles? Why did I just taste pickles? What in the cosmic kosher was that? Why did that taste like pickles? And not like a rye, more like, kind of like a rye, but exactly dill pickle flavored. What was that? I did not anticipate dill pickle on either of these. Maybe that was just a first taste of whiskey for the day problem. Let's take one more sip to see if it's still there. Sip number 2, and the dill sort of fades away. There is almost like a salty brininess to it, which is totally strange. Didn't expect that on either of these at all, especially the sweeter oatmeal cookie or cherry glass number 1 on the nose. On the palate, Ari it goes. Ari. How do you say that word? Ari. Mommy. Mama. Ari. Strangely enough, the palate is where the funk lies on this pour. It's like a funky salted cherry. That is so weird. Moving to glass number 2 to see what glass 2 can do for me and for you. Glass 2 down the hatch. Glass 2 is a bit more bitter, a little bit of barrel char, slight nuttiness, seems to linger a little bit longer, and it has to let it linger. It's a bad job. I paired these two together inside the steel cage of Matt's palate because I believed wholeheartedly that Old Forester Statesman and Barrel Foundation would make a great head-to-head matchup. They're in the same weight class, only separated by 5 proof points. Statesman does not have an age statement. Foundation aged 5 years. But Statesman must be at least 4 years old, so if it's between 4 to 6 or 4 to 7, then it puts it right in the ballpark, right in the range, right in the weight class of Barrel Foundation. Back to glass 1. It's a bit spicy and a bit like curvy. Some complexity to glass 1. Now glass 2. Although glass number 2 seems to linger a little bit longer, it seems to be just a bit sharper on the palate and a little bit more tin-like, a little bit more tinny than glass number 1. Glass number 1 seems to have a broader range of flavor, and this is a very close bourbon skirmish. Maybe one of the closer bourbon skirmishes I've had in quite some time. Both of these bottles range around $60. The Foundation, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, and Maryland. And the Old Forester Statesman, a straight bourbon whiskey from Kentucky. At the end of 4 or 5 sips, we go to the judges' scorecard for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision. Glass number 1. And glass number 1 is A. Barrel Foundation, a 5-year straight bourbon whiskey blend, an 8-year-old Kentucky bourbon, 5, 6, and 9-year-old Indiana bourbon, 8-year-old Tennessee bourbon, and 5 and 6-year-old Maryland bourbon. Derived mash bill, 73 corn, 23 rye, 4% malted barley. The Old Forester Statesman, I opened a few weeks back for the first time in my life, and I was like, what the heck is that? I dig that. Also, the Barrel Foundation, new to the shelves, right around the same price, and I figured, what the hells? I wanted to do a bourbon skirmish between two $60 shelfers, and guess what? I found out nothing really rhymes with shelfers. In a $60 shootout, Barrel Foundation just narrowly edges out Old Forester Statesman. This was a bourbon skirmish, an old school freaking bourbon skirmish. And if you ain't down with that, then you ain't down with nothing except for stupid shit. So, suck on that and dig it up and then bury it again. For your dog to dig up later and bark at you about when he finds your bullshit buried in the yard. What am I talking about? No idea. But Barrel Foundation just laid the foundation. I don't know. Sometimes these videos go better than that. Sometimes they don't. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit the thumbs up whether you liked this video or hated it. Leave a comment down below. Have you had these two whiskeys? Have you tried these two bourbons? Which one is your favorite, Statesman or Foundation? My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds but your mind. I'm going to the local swimming pool during the summer and laying there just getting beat up by the sun, just absorbing all the rays and sweating profusely while you watch your kids snorkel in the pool without a snorkel. What are they even doing in there? Are they okay? Are they wearing the wristbands that say that they're bad swimmers? Yes. Are the lifeguards actually paying more attention to them? No. They're watching the balloon that a kid let go from their birthday party and the third tent from the corner that's floating up into the atmosphere or stratosphere or whatever sphere. Hey lifeguard, stop watching the balloon and watch my kids. I'll watch the balloon and let you know when we can't see it anymore.